I've watched some of you zip line across waterfalls, hold giant snakes and tarantulas, cliff dive in oceans, and bungee jump off of bridges, and you did it with a look of thrill and excitement on your face. In fact, you put a huge smile on the faces of those watching you too. But for some of you, the thought of speaking in front of a crowd is absolutely terrifying. After returning from a mission trip, one of the greatest things that you can do to help yourself commemorate what God did in your life, while also challenging others to overcome fear of serving, is simply talk about it. You may have a small group or a pastor that would allow you a few minutes to share what you witnessed God do through your MMO trip, and I want to encourage you to take advantage of that opportunity. Recently, I read several articles about public speaking and how it affects the average person. You may or may not have a personality that enjoys being the center of attention, but in this situation, let's make it all about Christ and what He is accomplishing through our team efforts. Let me give you a few things I've learned. First, being nervous is normal. To help overcome this feeling, make sure you take time to prepare and practice what you are going to say. Your favorite pastor or teacher didn't get that comfortable in front of everyone without working at it. Take time to think through the information you want to speak on. Write it down, read over it, then read over it again and again and again. The more you read it, the more you study it, and the more you say it, the more comfortable you will feel when you speak. Of course, it should be prayed over. Spending time in prayer, asking God to give you the right words to speak, will help you remember that this is all about Him and certainly not about you. It's about the audience. It's about God sharing what He is doing and trying to encourage others to get involved. They may not be able to go, but they may be able to give to help you go again. They may decide to pray for the next team after hearing your experiences. They may commit to finding ways they can use their skill sets for God's glory. While you share your heart, ask God to speak to the heart of each member of the audience. One of the authors I read instructed speakers to create a framework for speaking. Write down your topic, your general purpose, your specific purpose, central idea, and main points. Make sure you grab the attention of the audience quickly and then keep them engaged with your content. Remember, you've probably been given a time limit. Stay within that time limit. It is disrespectful of the host and audience for you to take over the whole session or service due to unchecked emotions. That's why it is so important to prepare ahead of time. Make your speaking opportunity dynamic because you prepared and prayed. I want to also encourage you to let your personality shine. Be the person God made you. Not an automated machine reading off a paper or note card. Don't read unless you absolutely have to. Take time to memorize if needed, but be real in your person. It will go much further in your connection to the listener. Share a funny story, add in a phrase you learned in the local language, talk about that weird food you tried, but always bring it back to the gospel work and the local church we served alongside. Lastly, be careful about broad brushing the people we served. Avoid using absolutes when describing the people. They were all so poor, the kids all looked like they were starving, everyone was so dirty. Sure, there's going to be differences. You and I have an economic advantage over some of the folks we served, but they were created in the image of God. They deserve dignity and respect. And we can share our instances of sadness or individual cases that you witnessed, but make sure you paint an overall picture of God's beautiful handiwork and grace on display. Your heart may have been broken by some of the things you encountered, but find the positives and highlight those. Trust me, your audience will know there are needs. You don't have to convince them. And don't forget the church. Share about singing with others in a foreign language. Talk about shaking hands with brothers and sisters in Christ, about how they sacrificially gave when the offering was passed. They invited neighbors, how they took time off of work to help in the medical clinic, how they shared their faith. Help them imagine the boys and girls that walked to church, met strangers from across the world, all worshiping the same God. At the end, make it your goal to finish with a crescendo of praise to God. Thank those that gave. Thank those that prayed. Challenge someone to come with you next time. Remember, lives were changed for eternity. If your speaking opportunity is recorded or live streamed, make sure to email us a copy. We would love to hear it and rejoice alongside your friends and family. Till next time, I'm Bradley Edmondson. Thank you for being a part of our tribe.